If you ever eaten a plant-based meal and afterwards you felt unsatisfied, low energy, and still hungry within an hour, this video's for you. A balanced plant-based meal is not about eating less, it's about eating complete. Veg Mom Go. You already know. If this is your first time, welcome. If it's not, I knew you'd be back. Hi, I'm Carletta, your plant-based strategist and former I thought eating healthy meant you still had to be hungry person. Just a reminder, I am not a medical professional. This is just some advice that I use for myself and I like to share with others. After over a decade of teaching and helping people transition to a plant-based diet, I noticed something. Most people are not struggling because they don't care about nutrition. They're struggling because no one taught them how to make a complete meal. Today, I'm sharing my simple framework I use for every plant-based meal. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or it's something that you gotta throw together after a long day. And it's the same framework that I teach in my workshops, my webinars, and my live cooking demos. That's because it's realistic, it's flexible, and it works. If you're ever looking to book for those kind of events, don't forget to go to vegmomgo.com. Now, I call this my 4-part meal formula. This consists of fiber, protein, flavor, and micronutrient support. If one of these are missing, you'll feel it. You'll feel the energy dip, you'll feel the cravings, you'll feel unsatisfied, you'll still be hungry. But let's break these down real quick because I want to show you 2 examples of some meals that I already recorded. First, let's talk about fiber. And fiber is for fullness, digestion, and blood sugar. Let me just say, people are waking up to fiber and realizing how much of a powerhouse it is. Fiber is what keeps you full and steady. Now, plants naturally give us fiber, but your meals have to have enough of it. Now, I want you to think whole grains, beans, vegetables, seeds. And I know all my numbers, people want to say, hey, how much fiber do I need each day? No worries, I got you. You need about 25 to 30 grams of fiber to really see an impact. But let's just say, slow the brakes, you know that you shouldn't have as much. If your body is not used to 25 to 30 grams per day of fiber, you need to gradually build that in. So you're using it per week or even per day, but you don't want to have bloating and digestive issues. Next up, protein. And you already know that protein is one of the most famous nutrients. Now, we need protein for energy, muscles, and for staying power. Protein does not have to be complicated, it has to be intentional though. For plant-based proteins, you can definitely go look at my video about the top plant-based proteins that are not soy or beans, but we already know that soy and beans are one of the top powerhouses for plant-based protein. And this is what keeps meals from feeling like snacks. My numbers, people, come back in. So when it comes to protein, we're thinking about 0.8 grams per kilogram. That's what at least Mayo Clinic is saying. And we want to make sure that that's based on our body weight. So let's just say a 165-pound person, that's about 75 kilograms. That is about 60 grams of protein per day. And there's plenty of protein calculators online. If you don't know how to do the math, it's super easy. Now, when it comes to protein for me, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I actually eat a lot so that I can flex. You know, letting people know that I get all my protein in. And as people who are on plant-based diets, we know how many people ask about our protein on a regular basis. So I eat about 100 grams a day. That way, no one can ask, oh, where do you get your protein? Super easy, super quick. An example of a 100-gram protein day. For breakfast, I'll have like a tofu scramble with some avocado toast. For lunch, if you follow me on my shorts, I have a whole mixing bowl worth of salad. But in that mixing bowl worth of salad, I have a large cup of quinoa and a large cup of lentils with every salad. For snack, I normally have some kind of fruit. I've also had hummus. I've also had edamame. It depends on the day. And for dinner, you normally see me with a soup or a stir fry of some sorts, which I try to keep with tempeh or tofu or definitely beans. And as you can see here, this adds up to 100 grams. And that again is intentional. Moving on to our next part, and that is flavor. Flavor is the most important element in the sense of sustainability. If food doesn't taste good, you won't keep eating it, period. Now, flavor is seasoning, is sauces, is texture, is acidity. And sadly to say, this is where most people underdo it. There's just too many spices and herbs out there for us to lack in flavor. Even salt and pepper is needed. Lastly, micronutrient support. And this is what I call the silent foundation. This is another part that most people skip. And when we talk about micronutrients, we're not talking about our macronutrients of protein, fat, and carbs. These micronutrients are minerals. Minerals like iron, calcium, zinc, omega-3s, iodine. Now, we're not tracking. I'm totally against that. We are talking about layering these nutrients. We're pairing foods so your body actually absorbs the nutrients. Now let's look at the dishes that I made. We're gonna start off with the soba noodle dish. As you see here, I have buckwheat soba. As you saw on my previous video about protein, that gives you so much protein. But let's start off using it for fiber. So our buckwheat soba noodles are for fiber as well as the veggies that are mixed in. For our protein is also our soba noodles, but our added protein that you see here is tofu. Another part of this is flavor. So we have a lot of umami flavor, we have acid, we have aromatics. This is what makes this meal crave-worthy. The micronutrients you see consist of the cabbage, the sesame seeds for the healthy fats. Healthy fats help my body absorb the antioxidants from the cabbage. This is the kind of meal that feels light and grounding. You're not stuffed, but you are satisfied. Recipe breakdown number 2, and this is my layered cabbage, bean, and cashew sauce pasta. This one is a perfect example of balance for a long day. So again, let's start off with our fiber. Our fiber is the cabbage and the beans and actually the pasta. The pasta is made from legumes in the sense of it's cauliflower and lentils. The protein we have here is the pinto beans, and there's definitely some protein in the cashews as well. But the cashews are also the flavor. So it's a very creamy sauce and is savory and is comforting. Lastly, the micronutrients we see here is the beans for iron, the cabbage for antioxidants, and the cashews for minerals as well as fat. This is comfort food that supports your body. So what did you think about these meals? Do you think that were doable for you? Perfect. This is why I teach this framework. It's actually the opposite of how I first thought. I used to overthink, I used to undereat, and I used to think that plant-based eating meant to be more restrictive. Once I simplified my meals, this changed the whole game for me. My energy improved, my cravings settled, and meal planning stopped being overwhelming. And that's what I want people to experience. Not perfection, but nourishment that fits real life. If this way of thinking about food feels doable, that's intentional. This is the same approach I bring to all my teachings. Clear, practical, and judgment-free. If you're interested in learning more, check the description below. Don't forget to talk to me in the comments and let me know which part of the formula that you tend to forget about. I'll see you in the next video. And you made it. So Veg Mom Go is not just a channel for mini meal preps, but is also for people who want the nutrition facts that their body needs quickly in their chaotic lives. So join me for more ideas that will inspire you to eat on your best journey. See you next time.